Welcome to our coaching chat. We are getting ready to start a brand new series on leadership. Hopefully, most of you, and we'll talk about this after the call a bit, but hopefully you guys have had an opportunity to go take the test to see what level of leadership you guys are in. Have you guys all done that? Yes? Thumbs up? No? All right. We will see. If not, I'm going to encourage you guys to be sure and do that, because then you kind of know, right? Excuse me. You'll know exactly where you are and what you need to be working on. Let me see here. I got a couple of people who are, well, let's see. So Brenda's done it. Jennifer's done it. Who else has gone ahead and taken? If you've taken the test, tell me what level you guys are, what phase of leadership you're in. Go ahead and post that, and that'll help me know. But today we're going to start in that phase one, and maybe as we talk about this, you can kind of identify if you're in the self-leadership category. So let's jump in. How do you know that if you're in phase one or not? So here are three things that should kind of trigger your mind to say, okay, I am in the self-leadership phase. So the self-leadership phase is you don't have team yet, but you have been successful in building and growing a customer base. So you're building that customer base. I would say even you're getting to that level of that you are customer qualified. The second thing, which kind of identifies you as a self-leadership phase one leader, is maybe you're not even to the point yet that you really see yourself as a leader. You kind of feel like, okay, I'm part of this bigger team, but you're not really looking at yourself to say, okay, I am building a team of my own. I'm the leader of this team. Yes, we're a part of a bigger team, but you have that mindset that you are beginning to lead and build a team. So you're not there yet as far as seeing yourself as a leader. Oh my gosh, I've never thought of myself as a leader before. And then number three, which kind of puts you in the self-leadership phase one category, is it really starts with leading yourself. Am I really conscientious about me being the example, me leading my own self, so that in turn, I'm going to start having people follow me, and I'm at the place that I know what I'm doing personally. I know how to basically be out in front, set the pace, be the, we just had the Daytona race, be the lead car out there, or the leader who is people aren't afraid to join you because they can tell you know what you're doing. You've got things in place. So in this, and maybe I'm looking at kind of everybody's saying, yes, they're a rising leader, an intentional leader. If you're beyond the self-leadership phase, you've got people on your team who are in this category. So what I want you to do is, if you're not kind of looking at it for yourself, look at this closely to be able to identify those people in your team who maybe are right at this phase one. So what are the things that, let me stop for a second. Well, let's keep going. We've already started. I missed something, but we'll come back to it. Okay, so what are these enemies of growth for this phase one leadership? Number one, and I think if you've got anyone on your team, you would agree, fear is the biggest enemy of slowing down these brand new leaders, these self-leadership phase one partners on your team. There's self-doubt. And I remember this even as I signed that dotted line. Can I really do this? I know nothing about network marketing. I know nothing about sales. And there was that self-doubt thinking, can I really do this? I would be shocked if we took a poll of anybody right now on this call. I would be shocked if anyone said they weren't fearful. That just comes with doing anything new, and especially something that you have like no background or knowledge. I wasn't a salesperson. The next enemy of people in this category is they're overwhelmed. Like they don't even know what to do. It's like, I don't even know where to begin. And that's where we, the people who have brought them on board, if you've got partners on your team, it really is up to us to make sure that they're not feeling overwhelmed. That if they're dealing with fear, we're really, I just remember I tapped into Judy's confidence, and that's what gave me confidence. Because I remember Judy was making, this was 20 years ago, probably $75,000 a year. And I just remember tapping into Judy thinking, to kind of eliminate my self-doubt, was if Judy can make 75,000, my upline, surely I can make 25. That's where I begin to build my confidence. So we as upline, if we're not one portraying confidence, speaking into these people's lives who we brought into this company with us, this business with us, that's our responsibility as their upline. And then it's saying, okay, are they getting overwhelmed? They don't know what to do. Have I, as their upline, taking them through? And I hope you guys are using our Team Extreme new distributor or new partner launch process, because that's where they're going to get kind of focused, and you're touching base with them at least at a minimum on a weekly basis, so that they aren't overwhelmed. They know exactly what they need to do. They can hyper focus on those income producing activities, because they're going to feel overwhelmed and not sure what to do, and then just give up. Like, I've got 30 minutes a day to work this business, but they may spend 10 or 15 minutes just being overwhelmed. So we need to get really good about helping them be able to tap into our confidence until they begin to pick up that confidence themselves. And we need to make sure they know exactly what they need to do so that they're not feeling overwhelmed. Then number 3, the third enemy of someone's growth in this phase is they're not taking enough action. Or maybe they're taking action, but they're not being real consistent with it. So how can we help? One is we all need to do a better job of getting them on these calls, because it's going to focus them as well as it's going to help them be consistent. If we can, right off the bat, whether we're sending a text, whether we're sending a boxer, or somehow, some way we're connecting to help them stay focused on the action and be consistent with their touching this business every single day. Because that's where they're going to fall off. And if they don't get into an immediate rhythm right off the bat, they're not going to be successful in this business. And that action needs to be connecting with people, connecting with those prospects and following up, connecting with those prospects and following up. We've been talking about this now for a year, just this action and activity. Number 4 is getting them in that mindset of, this is a business, not a hobby, and we work it every day. It's not easy. It's a simple process, but it's not easy. And so helping them understand, this isn't just, oh, we just do it as we do life. Yes, we do it as we do life, but I'm here to tell you, if we are not intentional, treat it like a business, it will not grow like a business or the way that we want it to grow. So really help them get into, this is a business mindset. This is how you don't just earn money to make a living. We want to build and grow a tremendous income stream that far exceeds trading time for money. And then lastly, social media can be a trap. Sometimes I think sometimes people, it's synonymous, network marketing and social media, and they feel like that's how we build the business. I'm here to tell you, Kim McCall and I just had this conversation the other day that, she was making the comment that she going back to the basics. Every week she's doing a live event. And I'm here to tell you that those events, hands down, whether they're small events, large events, evening events, morning events, virtual events, live events, we better be consistent when it comes to doing events. Social media, to me, is a way to connect with people, but when it truly comes to building our businesses, we have to have an event to invite people to, period. Whether we're meeting them for coffee, they're coming to your house for a soup or a potluck, or we're doing an online event, or you're inviting them to a bigger, citywide event or a conference. Don't get people in that mindset of thinking, okay, all I have to do is go tell everybody on social media I'm selling some product. That will be the quickest way to really pull people down, because then they're not going to see that success. That you want people to see success right off the bat. And the best way for people to experience success right off the bat is through events. I'm here to tell you, you need to have events for your new people and the people in this phase one, this self-leadership. Okay, so how do we help them grow? Or if we're in the self-leadership position, how do we grow personally? First and foremost, we have to build our belief in ourselves. We talk about the 4 beliefs: the belief in the industry, the belief in our company, the belief in the product, and the belief in ourself. I am here to tell you, hands down, 90% of the time, the belief that trips people up is the belief in themselves. And how do we grow and build our own belief? To me, I think the number one tool is that recordings Facebook group. And if you're not on there, or your people aren't on there, get them on there. Because if you listen, it's one story after another. Here's what Juice Plus has done for me. Here's what Juice Plus has done for me. And then you've got the doctors on there talking about why it makes sense. You guys, that's how we're going to build belief in ourself and in our product, is when we're seeing. It's almost like until we get that belief in ourselves, we've got to hear and experience and feel the belief of others. And that way they can tap into all of these amazing doctors, other Juice Plus partners, and see and believe, that's where their belief's going to come, is through that education and belief and seeing other people do it. If, when my first conference, I'll never forget this truck driver telling her NMD story. And I know you guys have heard me tell that story 100 times, but it was literally looking at her saying, if she can do it, I can do it. Hearing her story. So building belief in ourselves sometimes truly comes from the belief in other people and tapping into their confidence till our confidence builds. How does our confidence build? Is by collecting customers and partners on our team. It truly, by success breeds success. So kind of back to, as we bring new partners, we got to stick with them like glue until they are successful. And that success will build belief in themselves and in this company. Secondly, keep recruiting. That people are so fearful, like, well, how can I bring people into this business if I haven't experienced success yet? It is through, I am telling you what, it is through our excitement of what we know is what we're anticipating happening, even if it hasn't happened yet. You know what? People feel and are attracted to us when they hear our excitement. And I can be attracted to someone before they've had success. If they've caught the vision of where they're going to go, if you guys don't know where you're going, and that's why we spent a lot of time about setting goals and knowing where we want to go. Because when you have somebody excited about the future, excited about where they see themselves going, it's going to attract other people. You don't have to have the success yet, but you have to have the vision for where you're going. And that's going to attract people. So when it comes to recruiting and in this phase one leader, you as their upline, you got to know where they want to go with this business and make sure they've got a vision for the future of where they're going and that they are pumped and excited about it. And then number 3, view your vision through a bigger lens. What happens, I think, in the beginning, we expect all this, this huge success in the beginning. But where we miss out is we don't see the success over time and how truly big we can build this business that we have. And when you help people not just kind of get tunnel vision of here's where I am, but they truly can see themselves, almost pull themselves out of the present and see themselves truly leading a big team with a big movement, having big impact, and one of the last series that we did, we talked about thinking big, but acting small. So it's those small everyday actions was what's going to create something big, but we have to have that big lens of here's where we're going to go, because it's that big, viewing your business as big is where that excitement comes from. And when we're excited, we're going to attract people. So look at those enemies of growth. Especially, I want you guys to read through these as you do coaching calls with your people. And you guys, we got to be coaching, locking arms with these people, because look at the enemies of growth, especially in this phase one of this leadership. We've got to get them to the point that they are leading themselves and that they are consistently working this business, because no one's going to follow somebody if they're not, if we're not doing these things and we're not training our new people to, how to grow and how to lead themselves and be successful themselves. So the main thing is, hopefully they are seeing results and getting customers. So the main thing now is to begin building team and attracting people. And then really seeing themselves as a leader, that they are building a team. Within this big team, they're building their own team. So, okay, so let me show you one more thing. So here's the 5 phases. So first we're talking about just being a self-leader and really locking arms with the people that we bring on board and helping them become a strong leader within themselves. We're going to talk about the accidental leader next week. What are their enemies? And then what do they need to do to grow? The rising leader, the intentional leader, and then the legacy leader. And so those are our next 5 weeks. And, identifying where we are and then what we need to do, those growth patterns that we need to really embrace and to be aware of the enemies, and then also be aware of what's it going to take for me to grow to that next level. Okay, so I am going to stop the share. And let me hear from you guys. Thoughts, comments about just this whole leadership, these 5 phases of leadership. And, if you're beyond that self-leadership, then let's talk about how are you doing in regard to really leading those brand new people on your team who are in this self-leadership phase. So let me hear from you. Or has everybody got it down? Understand it? Doing great?
Well, Elaine, I put a message in both the Voxers, the coaching chat and the team, about how exciting this is to me. I mean, when I got to again this morning review the video that he sent for my level. I mean, it was exactly what I'm dealing with, and we're excuse me, and it was so encouraging to me that, I mean, just to know that the stuff I struggle with is universal. You know,
Yeah.
it's all the same things, and he just is so positive and demystifies all of that, and he's really encouraging. So I'm excited about this.
I am too. I am too, because what it does, it's like we can't get better if we haven't identified those areas that we got to work on.
Mhm.
You know, we're just spinning our wheels. But if we're able to identify, okay, here's the challenges and here's what I need to do to grow. And then not only for ourselves personally, but also for the partners we're bringing on board. And I loved your comment, Brenda, that it is so universal in that we know what they're going to deal with. The
Right.
question is, are we going to head it off so that they can move quickly through those fears and pick up the confidence they need and go quickly through those stages of leadership?
Mhm.
All right, so I know Shelly's at work, so she's typing and she's saying,
Well, yeah.
I really need to work on I hope you're okay with me. Yeah, she's putting this out to everyone. I really need to work on not only getting new partners, but leading the few that I have, which is true. I think we all are struggling with that, to realize, okay, it's not just us. Okay, I got a new partner. Let's move on. But it is locking arms with these people and saying, at least in my opinion, till someone gets to at least senior sales coordinator, they need someone right there with them, locking arms with them. And, you know, at senior sales coordinators, when you have a team at that point, you're in that leadership role. I think we're all going to stick by each other, but truly, I think we need to lock arms with people and walk them through hand in hand, connecting with them on a weekly basis. What do you need? What are you dealing with? What's your fears? What's holding you back? How can I help? You know, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Okay, you're at a self-leadership. That's where you land. Here's the 3 things we need to really focus on. How you doing? And I know so many times, because I feel this way, that I'm just the same thing over and over again. But you know what? That's just the nature of the beast. And like, back to what you just said, Brenda, we all struggle with the same things. It's just human nature and the nature of the business that we're in. Okay, I'm going to shut down. Let me hear. I'm going to keep reading and see what other comments I need to comment on. Who else has some thoughts or comments?
I really like what Dale wrote. That's really true.
Okay, so Dale says, I'm in the accidental group but have lost momentum. I really appreciate these calls and need to regain focus and nurture the ones I have as well as nice. And I need to be around people like this group for encouragement and accountability, as well as gain new ones. I agree, Dale. I need this group, and which is why we really need to really bring our teams. I mean, when you think of it, there's about between 15 and 20 of us usually consistently on this call. We got a huge team, and we need to get them on there to feel the support, to keep the energy and the ideas flowing of how to be a great leader ourselves, how to attract people, both, you know, whether it be customers or prospects, and then hold each other accountable. I've been doing it 20 years. I still need this to remind myself to get out there and do, you know, walk through, track what I'm doing, and make sure I'm doing what I need to do. Yvette says, thank you, Precious. She checks in weekly, teaching me to become a great leader. Wow, Precious. That right there, kudos to you. Being a great upline. All right, so who else? Any other thoughts or comments? Anybody on here? I feel like probably most everybody on here most of you are saying either are accidental or intentional leaders, it looks like. We've got a rising leader, intentional leaders, and accidental leaders. So I feel like this self leader is, I feel like I'm talking to us as upline. Look at the people on your team and how many are self leaders and need our help, knowing, okay, here's what's going to take you down, but here's how we grow beyond that. So this week, let's really focus on connecting with our team. And you know, you guys know, those of you who've taken that test, it's a piece of cake. It doesn't take long, and it's kind of a cute little place, but it really helps you pick up on where you are. And let's get our team to take that, see where they are, so we know where they are and we know how to help them.
And I
Brenda,
think one of the
I
most
think
powerful
that's,
things. Go ahead.
oh, sorry, this is Tish. Hi,
Tish.
everybody. You know, you just hit on something I was just thinking about. That is so key. Everyone's at a different phase, right? So I would love to be able to know, I can kind of figure it out, obviously, but to have that information at my fingertips, to know where every team member is at, you know, to be able to help them, every partner that I have on my team. So that's some homework I have for myself.
I think as leaders, that's what we all need to do, is send this to our team.
Yeah.
Those, you know, handful of people that we want to see qualifying and really stepping up as leaders. Who are they? I've got 14 identified that I really have been connecting with, that I want to see really step into those leadership role. And I want to make sure they all have taken that test so I know how to help them.
Yeah, because my goal is I want everyone right beside me on my level.
Yes.
That's my ultimate goal. I want everyone on my team to be on my level, and we're all together.
Moving forward together. I agree.
Yes.
I love it. All right, you guys, I don't want to hold us back from jumping into a productive day. But my encouragement is get with your team, find out where they are, get them on the call next week. Next week, then we're going to tackle, I think it's the second one, phase 2 accidental. Yes, next week is accidental leadership. We'll find out what's holding those leaders back and then what they need to grow beyond to the next phase, which I believe is the rising, leaders. So, all right, you guys, thanks for being so faithful to be on these calls. Love y'all. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Elaine. Bye.